Whilst people in South Africa are so absorbed in kicking out Africans, stopping laboring women from giving birth because they're from Zimbabwe or from their other African countries, whilst they are being so vocal of their hatred of other Africans, whilst they're inciting violence against Nigerians, against Zambians, against Congolese, against all of this, whilst they are gaining social media followings for them destroying people's homes and refusing people from other African countries to access medical help, whilst they're busy bullying other Africans and picking on other Africans, something is happening. Something is happening. Because, and I don't know this, so allegedly, because of the Iran-Israel war, a lot of people from Israel seem to be moving to South Africa. They are buying large swathes of land. They are moving in their drones. And not a single word from these people who are making a name for themselves by tearing down other Africans. The Africans, and I know you hate to hear this, the Africans that literally fought and campaigned for your freedom during the years of apartheid, because a single country has not been able to do it by themselves, kick out the Europeans and end these systems. If you are in any doubt, just look at whatever is happening globally. People pressured the Europeans, people like, the conservatives in the UK were actually calling for Nelson Mandela to hang. All around the world, it is the movement that helped South Africa become free. And now they have turned on other Africans, which is so sad, because I love South Africa and I have had very, very good friends in South Africa. And it's so sad to see these people are mobilizing against other Africans whilst the people from Israel are just setting up camp in South Africa.
Hey, you almost said it to the South African, but if you guys let in Lucifer chosen people into your country, you guys are fucked. So the people of Israel right now, the European that live in Israel that invaded the country and take it for themselves, Lucifer chosen people, now they're trying to flee to South Africa, Cape Town to be exact. So they're ready to take over some more shit. So I'm gonna say this to the South African: if you guys don't fucking fight and unite, they're gonna come here and enslave you guys. Don't let them in. Don't let them in. I repeat, do not let them in. If you let them in, you guys are fucked forever. Don't let them in. There is already some of them living there already. That's try to get them out, but don't let them in. Once they come in, they're gonna take over the system, and they're gonna take over the banking system, and you guys are fucked. They're gonna turn you into slave.
Up in South Africa, it's getting wild. So white Africans have started a petition and it's now got almost 1 million views. And what they want a British man by the name of Phil Craig to be deported out of South Africa. Why are they doing it now? And this is because Phil Craig is a British man who created a brand new party in South Africa, and he is basically pushing and lobbying for the separation of the Western Cape to become a whites-only colony, and not a colony, colony or whatever you want to call it, a brand new country for white people. So Phil Craig is calling on the formation of a country for white people, and he's saying that he wants it to be like Israel, a place where white people who feel that they don't fit in wherever they belong, that they can all go to the Western Cape. And he has managed to piss off Africans. Like, can you imagine how bad you have to be to piss off Africans who are calling for other people to join their petition to deport this British guy because they say that they don't want the division that he's causing? It's wild. It is absolutely wild. So Africans are hell-bent on basically deporting this guy, Phil Craig, and they are calling him a lowlife, and they say that he needs to be deported back to Britain because he is in Africa to cause division. And of course, what Phil Craig is calling for is calling for the Western Cape to be an independent country. And when it becomes an independent country, of course, think about Africans who are already very pissed. What's that going to mean for the Africans who have always lived, well, anyway, in the last over 100 years have lived in South Africa, and they probably are afraid of what's going to happen.
We think that Israel now is the best partner Africa could have. I will go to Africa to help liberate the black people. We have our African brethren, the Ethiopian Jews, who are in our society, and I personally work every few weeks to help integrate more and more and incorporate them in our society. I believe this. I believe in Africa. I believe in your future, and I believe in our partnership for this future.
Can you shut up? Damn.
There are some Ethiopian Jews in Israel, yes, but they're discriminated against heavily. They're segregated in schools. A lot of times they're not even allowed in private schools. There's the Depo-Provera scandal where Ethiopian Jews exclusively were sterilized without their permission. There was the time when the Israeli blood banks threw all of the Ethiopian blood out because they didn't want any HIV-infected blood, so they just assumed, well, the Ethiopians are the ones that have it. They're segregated into ghettos with underfunded schools and inferior housing and jobs. It's like they're allowed in so that they can do the dirty work that none of the Ashkenazis want to do. They're regularly called infiltrators and a cancer on society by politicians and the media. In Israeli pop culture, there are tropes of Ethiopians having a lack of hygiene, causing crime, and having low culture. So yes, there's Ethiopian Jews in Israel, but that's like saying there's black people in the United States. There's still racism. I hate to break it to you. They're still racist.
When is kosher wine not kosher? When it's touched by an Ethiopian Jew. That's what hardline rabbis told the Barkan winery in Israel. No kosher certificate for you if Ethiopian workers touch the wine. The winery pulled its Ethiopian staff off the production line.
When Ethiopian people were immigrated to Israel, Ethiopian Jews, women then report, 2013, that's not like 50 years ago. They reported that they were given against their consent and without their knowledge contraceptive shots so they wouldn't reproduce because they are the wrong color. Israel is a racist, apartheid country that is projecting this shiny example of secularism and democracy for the people so people can accept whatever they do because they look at Palestinians as lesser people. This is the whole point. And I would like to quote Winston Churchill. He had a quote that say, I don't believe that we have made a great wrong to the Red Indians of America or the black people of Australia because they were replaced by a higher race, a stronger race, a more word-wisely race. This is why Queen Rania is criticizing the West. This is why we here said, like, where are your values? Because this is the crux of the problem. It's not Hamas. It's not Palestine. It is people looking at us as lesser human beings.
Wow. Wow. Let's just give me a second. Let me process that.
An independent Cape will have the exact same immigration policies as any democracy around the world. We will allow anyone to become a citizen of the Cape of Good Hope if they have, if they don't have a criminal record, if they have skills that they're going to bring to our country, if they're going to bring value to the citizens of our country. So there's not going to be any hard border in which some people are allowed, other people aren't, just like any country around the world. However, every country around the world needs to have borders which ensure that the resources within that country are not taken advantage of by illegal immigrants. So how do we deal with that issue? Well, it's very simple. Currently, the reason we have such an influx of people from other parts of South Africa.
Good day. So we're already this far. God damn. So first it was people of color, and now they're claiming independence. God damn. South Africa. So if Africa is not even safe for black people though, man. God damn. God damn. I was just saying the last time that if people are not careful, they're gonna whitewash South Africa just like how they did to Argentina, man, Australia, and the list goes on, man. And that's what's happening in South Africa in this 21st century. Like, make it make sense. Nah, I'm confused. What are the leaders saying over there? Ramaphosa is too fucking humble, man. Ramaphosa is too I don't even say humble. This guy is useless. Like, are you fucking serious, bro? So this guy, we just allow Jehovah. This is wild. Nah, I'm still in shock. So last time I said it, I thought I was just like, you know what I mean? Just saying something. Just to find out that things like that was actually already happening behind the scene. And now, Cape Town want their own independence. So that means the white people want to separate from the blacks after they already settlers in the country. God damn, can you imagine me seeing this shit over here in Europe and just be like, wait, I need this hotel. We're going to make we're going to make Africa over here, man. The next flight, they might put me inside, man. Which I won't blame them. So how the fuck can they do that to Africa, bro? In this 21st century? Jehovah. We cooked, man. We cooked. South Africa, please wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. You see what happened, right? This is what happened when it started. So that means Cape Town is going to have its own independence, and the people that are coming from outside South Africa, like Johannesburg, into Cape Town, they are the ones labeled now immigrants. South Africa, wake up, man. South Africa always be claiming, oh, we are South African, Zulu. They can only make mouth to other Africans. To other Africans. And when the white master talk, they shut up. And when it's to other Africans, go back to your country. Go back to your country. And now white people talk, they all shut up, man. Oh my God. Oh my God. Nah, South Africans, this is wild, man. You guys will complain you guys want immigrants out of your country, la la la. And nah, the settlers are actually, they want their own independence within your country, and that's okay. But then to black other country or to your fellow black brothers and sisters, that's where you have mouth to complain how this is your country, how they gotta leave and go and fight for their own country. But then you allowing the outsider to literally not even only settle, but then claiming a piece of the whole of their own of the land, as if Orania that they already claimed that was not enough. Now they're going to Cape Town. Oh my God. Malema. I think it's only Malema that can save South Africa at this moment, man. Someone that is bold, confident, courageous, not afraid to speak his mind, not afraid to look the devil in the eyes and tell that bitch to suck a dick, man. Come around, Malema for president, man. I already said it multiple times. If any other president win beside Malema this time around, I swear to God, man. Then I don't know. Then it's spit on South Africans, man. Like to other Africans, boo, 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 boo. And now, when the the white man standing in front of you is, yes, sir, you want this land, take it. And then when you see your black brother, you say, go back to your country. Huh? Nah, this is pure wickedness, bro. If this shit happen and South Africa are not standing, man, then I don't even know what else to say, man. So them already owning 80% of the whole country, 80 to 90% of the whole country is not enough. Now they just want to count you guys out, man. And then you guys will still claim, my South Africans, come on, bro. You guys are now strangers in your own fucking country. Like, literally, you are a stranger, immigrant in your own country. So that means if you want to travel from Johannesburg to South Africa to Cape Town, you need a visa. Or I don't know, because that's what these guys say, right? You can be labeled an immigrant. Oh my God, I swear, Malema for president, man. Please, Malema. We need you, man. Malema, stand up. One Africa, man. At the end of the day, I'm not a South African, but I'm speaking as an African, man. As a proud African, as a matter of fact. You know what I mean? As one that want to say one Africa. I want to see us unite. I want to see us do better. You know what I mean? Because I know Africa must be great again. And for that to happen, us as a youth, we need to come together, man. It's not everything catching cruise, not everything about ice and teeth. Fuck a bitch, man. Come on, Malema for president. At the end of the day, we need someone that bold, man, that is not afraid to look that devil in the eyes and tell that bitch to suck a dick, huh?
An independent Cape will have the exact same immigration policies as any democracy around the world. We will allow anyone to become a citizen of the Cape of Good Hope if they don't have a criminal record, if they have skills that they're going to bring to our country, if they're going to bring value to the citizens of our country. So there's not going to be any hard border in which some people are allowed, other people aren't, just like any country around the world. However, every country around the world needs to have borders which ensure that the resources within that country are not taken advantage of by illegal immigrants. So how do we deal with that issue? Well, it's very simple. Currently, the reason we have such an influx of people from other parts of South Africa...
We never hit you, you created the killing for the kid is Palestine. And when you're standing in front of the camera, you say something nice. You know what, shame on you, Zionists, I don't trust you. You are not even normal Jews, you are Zionists. I'm talking to you. Hello, shut your mouth now. Don't make me try to scare for me. Listen, sir, listen, do whatever you want it, say whatever you want it. I'm not scared for you. You are baby killer to me, okay? Zionists out of Africa. Zionists out of Africa. Zionists out of Africa, okay? You're a baby killer. I can smell the baby killer. You are not welcome. Hey, you are not welcome to come Africa. Out of Africa. Yes.
If you think you can just come and grab Africa for yourself, then you are mistaken. Africa is not for grabs. The land of Africa belongs to African peoples. This goes to the illegal settlers. Like what is happening in Cape Town right now. Israel is inhabiting Cape Town. They are taking over Cape Town. They are claiming that they are buying off land. African land belongs to Africa. We don't know no illegal, we don't know no white settlers in Africa. Your time is up. It's time to pack your bags and leave. Africa is uniting. You will not like it. But if you continue doing what you are doing in South Africa, we will have to march. We will have to march as a whole Africa. We will have to come and solve that issue in South Africa ourselves. We will not sit down and see you gun down innocent people. Chase them out of their land. Evict black people out of their land. What do you mean by a chosen people? There is no chosen people. You Israelites, you are mistaken. You white people, you are mistaken. No chosen people here, man. You come to kill us and then you tell us you are the chosen people. What do you mean? If that is what is happening in Cape Town, then we are ready for you. Africa has never known no easy way. We don't know the easy way. We know the hard way. So better know that we are prepared for you, and we will not live on our knees anymore. Yeah, that is it. We are ready to protect our motherland. If it takes our lives, so be it. There is no other great honor than that. So no, we are prepared for you. You just come.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't take it for Zionists for South Africa. You mustn't talk nonsense.
Do you know that we've got the permit to stand here?
You have a permit?
Yes.
We don't need even permit. This is our own land. Zionists doesn't have here. No, Mama, you are wrong. Bye, bye, Mama, bye, bye.
These Israel people are moving in masses to Cape Town. They are not going back. They are here to colonize. They are here to take. They want to make South Africa the next Gaza. They are removing black people and colored people from their places with the help of the DA. There are a lot of them who are in the country illegally. They need to be deported in an immediate effect. Let us stand together and say no to Cape independence and Israel people moving to South Africa and the Ukrainians who are moving to South Africa.
Tensions are high in Sea Point as pro-Palestinian supporters have gathered to continue their support. Water cannons, stun grenades. As police continue to form a human chain to try and blockade them.
The fact that there will be no more ambassador from South Africa in Israel. No more ambassador. These Jew haters, Zionist haters, Zion bashers from South Africa, these subhuman barbarians who took over the country there more than 25 years ago, these people who caused death rate the highest in the world. Violent death is something in South Africa which happens more than any other place in the world. The same level as Venezuela. And it's outrageous, barbaric. These are people who represent the lowest scum of the earth. They cannot build one bridge. They cannot do anything positive. They can steal properties from the whites. They can kill the whites. They can kill the farmers. There were hundreds of Jews killed in South Africa during this period, by the way, as well. Robbed, killed, and with some constant racial flavor. So they decided that they cannot keep their ambassador in Israel because of Gaza Strip. Thanks God. Get out. Never come back. All of you. All of you. All of those who support the terrorist organization called the ANC. All of those who support violence, death, degenerates. What they've done to South Africa. Terrible. Terrible. I hope South Africa will become South Africa again. Ons vir jou Zuid-Afrika. Delare.
So they're calling it the Western Cape of Israel. That's because in the Western Cape, it seems like with all the tension that's going on there in regards to Israel taking over the whole of the Western Cape, certain spots like Sea Point, and Somerset, and going right up the coast of the Western Cape, right into Cape Town. There's been tensions like that all week, and it's been going on for months now. And the Cape Townians are fighting back, saying they want to get their land back, that they must stop Israel from trying to push their way in there. Apparently there are thousands and thousands of illegal and foreign immigrants from Israel that have settled in the Western Cape, and the Western Cape is starting to look like little Israel, the Western Cape of Israel. What are your thoughts? How should this be handled? I'm not sure that it should be handled in the sense of them being kicked out or thrown out or whatever, but how should it be handled? How should it be maneuvered? Cyril Ramaphosa hasn't really done anything really to combat the situation or to help the situation. He's been very, very quiet on the situation. In fact, he's been quite MIA on the situation. And this is also what's caused the public to go on protests and marches and try and handle things themselves, which never works out when that happens. So, you know, government needs to intervene and see what they can do. But as it stands right now, the Western Cape of Israel.
Guys, a brand new country is emerging in Africa. The brand new country that is emerging in Africa is going to be a whites-only country. And people of South Africa be concerned about what is happening. And this is the Western Cape. Now, the Western Cape is basically, there's an organization known as the Cape Independence Advocacy Group. Okay, and they have released a statement. And so they call themselves CIAG, so Cape Independence Advocacy Group. They formally notified the South African government of their intention to go to the US to have a meeting with Donald Trump. And out of this meeting, what they're hoping to get is the recognition of their own independent country in the Western Cape. Now, this is a headache. It's going to be a headache because they have been quietly populating the Western Cape with people who are fleeing Ukraine and people who are fleeing Israel, and others have been populating the Western Cape. And now finally, the white people who basically, after their independence, after Nelson Mandela became president of South Africa, and he promised the Rainbow Nation, but it appears that these people weren't really ready for a rainbow nation. It's always interesting that it's only the black people who are always ready to mingle, always ready for the rainbow nation. But this is a very powerful organization, and they produce a statement notifying the South African government of their intention. So basically, this is going to be the next step before they declare their independence from South Africa. And this is a worrying thing because they're entrenching themselves as a whites-only country, because Africa now doesn't have a whites-only country. And this is now a country that is now moving from its embryonic state into a full-blown country. And you should be very worried.
From your perspective, from the idea whose time perhaps has come or is coming, what's the momentum been like for Cape independence recently?
First of all, if we can deliver Cape independence in the Western Cape, we'll get to the point where support of the US is going to support us in a heartbeat. That's absolutely clear. I can say that unequivocally. That they're not going to say that publicly. They didn't say it in as many words to me, but it's absolutely clear that we have their moral and ideological support for this. They absolutely understand the issues that are there. And the one message that I brought back really to the Cape independence movement is, these guys will absolutely support us. Now is our time, but we've got to do the hard work. We've got it. They're not going to come and magically deliver it for us. We're going to have to do it ourselves. And if they do it ourselves, we've got a strong ally. And I've got we developed some really strong allies behind the scenes, and people who will publicly start to come out and to make noises in our favor.
Right. So let's take some time to unpack what it is that we've heard over here. Cape independence is real. Cape independence is going to happen unless South Africans do something about it now. Cape Independence is not a conspiracy theory, it's not scaremongering, and it is not us trying to scare South Africans to keep African foreigners in South Africa. Cape Independence is supported by the United States of America. Now let's remind ourselves, who is the United States of America? The United States of America is the country that supported apartheid. They supported black South Africans being kept in Bantustans and being treated like animals as the apartheid government controlled and looted South Africa. America is a country that supports Israel in its destruction and genocide against Gaza. America is a country that has killed all its native citizens and has made sure that America, which is a settler colony just like Israel, is run by Anglo-Saxons because they've killed off all the American Indians. America is run by Donald Trump, a racist who believes that black people must go back to the plantation. When they say make America great again, they are talking about making sure that black Americans are put back on the plantation. Everything you're hearing about the deportation of illegal immigrants, Mexicans, and South Americans is all about making sure that there is no labor to work the land in America except for black Americans who need to go back to being slaves on the slave colony. You must also remember that when Cecil John Rhodes decided to colonize South Africa, Americans were some of the people that formed the soldiers that helped to colonize Kimberley. When he went through to Zimbabwe with the Pioneer Column to colonize Zimbabwe, Americans were part of that. And when we fought for our independence, America and the Department of Defense of America recruited 3,000 American mercenaries to fight against blacks who wanted independence in Zimbabwe. That's the America we're talking about. And remember, the biggest private security companies in South Africa are American, British, and Israeli.
If the militarists decide to take matters into their own hands, how would that affect what you are trying to do in a democratic sphere?
What I do know is the statistics that, for example, in the Western Cape, that private security personnel outnumber government personnel 10 to 1. And we saw in the 2021 riots that it was the civilians protecting the police in the end, and not the other way around. But actually, if we look at what's actually played out in those situations, the people have power, and I think were the Western Cape people to be provoked into a response, it would probably be helpful for Cape Independence.
So let's take time to listen to what he is saying and what he is not saying. First of all, the statement that he made is that if there was war, our security companies and the private citizens, white private citizens of South Africa, outnumber at least 10 to 1 the police and the military of South Africa in the Western Cape. And he believes that if there was a military fight, they would get Cape Independence because they are better armed and they outnumber the military and the police of South Africa. That he said. What he's not saying is that while they already outnumber the police and military of South Africa, they are recruiting Ukrainians, Zionists from Israel, and other people from all across the world, including Australia, where the DA has gone and put Home Affairs officers. And these people are coming into South Africa. They are also getting armed and given firearm licenses, while you black people don't get firearm licenses, and they are training each other. He also said that they've got the support of the United States. So for all we know, there's already CIA agents, special forces of the Americans. We know that Mossad is here, and we know the special forces of the Israelis are here already training these people. So what he is saying is that we are ready to fight and take the country. And do you see how he cleverly brings in the riots of 2021? What happened there? Poor black people and young black people rose up against white monopoly capital, looted their shops out of anger, and guess what? Who came to the rescue? Indians of Phoenix and white people began to shoot and kill black people. Who were the people who were said to have started it? Duduzile Zuma, Ike Khumalo, who started Dudula. The message is we can neutralize them. Listen.
As you say, the largest demographic group in the Western Cape is the so-called coloured people, who obviously are a diverse community even within themselves. But we know from polling that it's been clear for the last 3 or 4 years the stronger support for Cape independence is amongst the coloured community. They've always been the biggest group numerously, but that's been a consistent feature of our polling. And coloured people in the Western Cape instinctly support Cape independence. They're from the Cape; it's their country. They're connected to the Cape in a way that they're not connected to Limpopo or to KZN. So they naturally support independence.
So do you see how he then brings it full circle to what they call the original people of South Africa, the Khoi and the San? He brings in the colored people. But then he reminds you that these colored people have no connection with the people of Limpopo, KwaZulu-Natal, or anyway, because the truth of the matter is coloreds are the product of white people and black people and also Cape Malays. They are not original people of Africa. They are actually the sons and daughters of the same people that
We'll say hello.
Hello, everyone.
They know me, I'm the racist. I believe you mustn't mix black and white kids in the same school. Sorry, Louis, we're going to talk straight. Yes.
Really?
They firmly believe it.
They know you're a racist?
Yes, for sure.
These people?
For sure.
Eddie,
yes,
if
sir.
you, by your own assessment, are a racist, right?
Yes.
Then what are you doing here breaking bread with black people?
Because he's a racist as well. The black man is a worse racist than I am.
Really?
You better believe it. What do you think happened in Rwanda and Burundi, Louis?
Yeah.
Hey? Can I tell you? They did it to their own brothers. The Boers haven't done it.
Nice to meet you. Yeah. Do the family have to wear khakis? Is that in the rules?
That is military.
That's military.
Mm-hmm. Because we're in a war situation. And
Marty's not wearing them.
They'll soon wear them as well, eh, Marty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where this film going to?
BBC 2 in Britain.
BBC on TV?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
find that.
How much the idea of Boer nationalism crossed racial boundaries was something I wanted to find out from Boer State Party leader and swimming pool repairman
Dirk von Tonder. Is that you?
That's me, yes.
I'm Louis.
Pleased to meet you.
Louis Theroux, how's it going?
Wow, fine.
Yeah. What is the Boer State Party? What does the Boer State Party stand for?
The Boer State Party stands for the reinstatement of the Boer States. Period.
So does that basically mean a separate country for Boer people, for the Boers?
Yes, that means the reinstatement of the Boer States as it was in 1899. Because the English came and they took it from us.
Yeah, and is that it? So is that basically all the land? I mean, it's quite a big chunk.
It's a big chunk.
So what will your new country look like? What will it be like?
Well, you're basically in it now.
Are Boers in a majority here at the moment?
No, we are not the majority at the moment. But let's look at Israel. I mean, at one stage, Israeli people was a very small minority, and we're basically in a similar situation now.
Yeah.
We mustn't despair on that.
The land flowing with milk and honey, the land of Yasharol, the land of Yerushalayim is today, and who the true children of Yasharol actually are. Yasharol is the son of Yitzchak or Isaac and the son of Abraham. The land flowing with milk and honey is the land that Yahuwah gave to Abraham's seed forever, who he promised to multiply as the sand of the sea. Today, we are told that this measly little land in the Middle East is the land that Yahuwah gave to the children of Yasharol, who he promised to make as the sand of the seashore. This land is absolutely hysterical how small it is. This is not the land flowing with milk and honey, but I'm going to show you where it is today. Hallelujah. What I'm about to show you first is a series of maps. I got all these maps on David Rumsey Map Collection. You can go on the website, you can download the maps. The first one is Albert Scobell, 1905. This is a map of South Africa. You can see that Jerusalem, or properly called Yerushalayim, is in southern Namibia. Just a bit south of that is Pella, which is a place that the Nazarim, the followers of Yahusha, fled to. They fled from Jerusalem to Pella before the Roman destruction of Jerusalem in 70 CE, known as the Flight to Pella. In fact, Pella is still called Pella today in the Northern Cape, South Africa. On this same map, you have Beersheba, Rehoboth, Gibeon, All of these are in so-called Namibia today. Here in the Northern Cape again, you have Beto or Beit Al. Now that's just one witness. Let's look at more. Francesco Mar.
And you're wondering why the Zayos are so entrenched here in South Africa, just covering their bases. Why they keep saying Sea Point is Tel Aviv? You're wondering why? And you know the genocide that happened in Namibia, besides the one that happened in the Cape Colony with the Khoisan. Now you know what's happening, people. Now you know why they're so crazy about South Africa also. Especially the Cape, though. You know, the West Coast. It seems very important to them.
Mochi 1858, map of South Africa. Once again, Jerusalem in Namibia, with Pella just south, along with Bethany. Andre Richard 1895, South Africa. Once again, Jerusalem in Namibia, southern Namibia. Pella as our witness again, just south. There's Beit Al again in the same location. Beersheba, Rehoboth. Colton 1886, map of South Africa. Jerusalem in southern Namibia. There's Bethany, Beersheba, Rehoboth. And last but not least, Bartholomew 1907. Here's Pella in the Northern Cape. Gibeon, Beersheba, Bethany, Rehoboth. And look at this, Daniel's Kale. Kale in Dutch or Afrikaans means cave or den. Daniel's den, look at that. Perhaps where Daniel was thrown into the lion's den. Now, when the children of Yasharal crossed over the Yarden River to inherit the land flowing with milk and honey, they were battling against their enemies. They were commanded to drive out the inhabitants of that land. And check this out. Book of Yahusha, who they call Joshua, chapter 10 and verse 11. And it came to pass as they fled from before Yasharal, and were in the going down to Bait Turun, that Yahuwah cast down great stones from heaven upon them, unto Azekah, and they died. There were more which died with the stones than they which the children of Yasharal slew with the sword. So you can see Yahuwah cast down these great stones upon the enemies of the children of Yasharal. Those enemies who were in the land, whom they were commanded to drive out of the land. Now, it just so happens to be that the largest so-called meteor ever found in the world is in Namibia. Namibia, South Africa. Same location we looked at on the maps. In fact, there is an entire array of meteors, or actually just great stones that Yahuwah cast down from heaven upon the enemies of Yasharal in display in Windhoek, Namibia. There you go. Look how huge that thing is. Yahuwah said he cast down great stones upon them. That is a great stone. In fact, it's the biggest one ever found on the earth. But they want you to think it came from outer space. No, this came from Yahuwah to destroy the enemies of the children of Yasharal. Let's look at another witness. The promised land should be desolate or devoid of inhabitants. That means the land flowing with milk and honey today should not have a lot of people in it. Uyakara, or Leviticus chapter 26, 33 through 35. And I will scatter you among the heathen, and I will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate. So because of the disobedience of the children of Yasharal against Yahuwah's Torah, he said that their land would be desolate, and your cities waste. Then shall the land enjoy her Shabbathut, her Sabbaths, as long as it lieth desolate. And you shall be in your enemy's land. Keep that one in mind. Even then shall the land rest and enjoy her Sabbaths. As long as it lieth desolate, it shall rest, because it did not rest in your Sabbaths when you dwelt upon it. Here's another one. Yahazkar, Ezekiel chapter 12, 19 through 20. Thus saith Yahuwah Elu of the inhabitants of the Yerushalayim, and the land of Yasharal, they shall eat their bread with carefulness and drink their water with astonishment, that her land may be desolate from all that is therein, because of the violence of all them that dwell therein. And the cities that are inhabited shall be laid waste, and the land shall be desolate. The Webster Dictionary definition of desolate means devoid of inhabitants and visitors, or deserted. Now let me ask you, does this look desolate to you? This is the land that did tell us today is the land of the children of Yasharal. Does it look desolate? Does it look deserted? Does it look devoid of inhabitants to you? How about the Kalahari Desert in Namibia? Namibia is in South Africa, just like we looked at on the maps. Does this look deserted to you? A desert devoid of inhabitants?
Maybe that's why they started Orania so close by also. More conspiracy theories. More conspiracy theories. But it's no surprise that the Dutch, the English, the French, and even the Germans, I don't know if the Spanish came, the Portuguese, were all here trying to take this land from us. Mense, skrik wakker. Dis al wat ek kan sê.
We are the Boers. We are a very proud nation. We are the white tribe of Africa. And we are here to show the people today. We're going to make our stand in this country. There's certain parts of this country that is our parts.
Go to South Africa, white people are calling themselves Africans and they don't even look it. That's some gangster shit, don't you think? I'm from South Africa. No, you're not. You're Dutch. You just didn't know when the fuck to leave.
South Africa, Cape Town is gone. They will take it. It's a done deal. Sealed and collected. Let me tell you the truth. USA own you. USA own your government. USA own your president. We took money from IMF. You don't take money from the enemy and expect the enemy to relax. The enemy will come back to collect it. And they are not going to collect the money they gave you, but they're gonna collect something valuable more than the money they gave you. Money they just printed. So our president's wealth comes from United States. They gave him businesses. He's wealthy because of United States. So that means they own him. And we also took money from IMF, from European and USA included. We owe them. So they own us. So when they demand something, they're going to take it. They don't ask. It's not a request. They will take Cape Town because they own us. Once they own the head of state of South Africa, they own everybody because we are eating their money. The president took the loan. We are owing billions from European and USA. You don't eat the money of an enemy and expect to live free. They control you because of that. So now I'm sure they've made a deal that we are taking Cape Town, we are taking Western Cape, and that is not negotiable. You owe us. So that's why our president is powerless. That is why the government officials of ANC, they are powerless because they owe Trump. They owe European. They eating the money of European, the money that they're taking every day from IMF Bank. So it's a done deal. It's over. They will take Cape Town. They will take Western Cape. And there's nothing South African people can do. Those are two superpower countries. You know what Israel is capable of. There's nothing you can do. Israel is powerful. Israel is dangerous. Israel is advanced with equipment. Look at what they did to Gaza. You don't want to see that. Africa the only way is to unite. Remember, they made us fight our own African brothers, so it was a distraction. They caused the problem of the taxi drivers. It was a distraction while their focus was Cape Town. So that means they will take Cape Town. There's nothing you people can do of South Africa. There's nothing, unless if you expect nuclear bombs to attack you, because we owe them money. That is the truth. The 370 money that you are eating, the 550 social grant that you are eating is the loan of IMF. It's the loan of the European. That is why Australia is coming to mine in South Africa. They're going to take 70% of that. 70%. They're going to give us nothing. More than 10%. But we are the one bringing the mine on the table. We owe the European. We owe them the Western powers. There's nothing we can do. They are coming for us and there's nothing we can do. Australia is coming. It's part of European, remember? So they're going to mine here and give you 1,000 jobs. What is 1,000 jobs? While they are taking billions of gold. They abstract it out of our soil and they go to manufacture those gold outside. We are sold. And there's not, the government is powerless. This time, this is a demand from Donald Trump. We take Western Cape, we take Cape Town. That is not a request. It's a demand. It's gonna happen. There's nothing we can do. Whoever comes in their way, they're gonna attack. Believe me, it's a done deal. They are coming for Cape Town. They will take. It's a demand.
Makes African and third world debt different from the American debt. Number one, America is never going to pay its debts. It doesn't have to. Its debts are in its own currency. We can simply print it. The African debt is not in its currency. The African debt is in U.S. dollars. Africa has to earn the U.S. dollars, and the only way it can earn the U.S. dollars is not to be assassinated for growing its own food and becoming independent and doing something that the United States does not like. The principle underlying the foundation of the World Bank is that no country should grow its own food. Africa and the third world should only grow export crops. In order to have an oversupply of cocoa and other tropical raw materials, to keep down the price, they must buy their grain from the United States or Europe, so that if they do something that we don't like, we can do what America tried to do to China in the 60s. We can sanction them. We can say, we're going to starve you. I think the most evil organizations in the world today are the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund.
Africa holds 60% of the world's uncultivated arable land. 60%. And yet we import $43 billion in food every year. Why? Because colonial economics never left. We were taught to export cash crops, tea, coffee, cocoa, not feed ourselves. Gaddafi knew this was madness. He invested billions into desert agriculture, aquifers, local grain reserves. He said a nation that cannot feed itself is a nation waiting to be conquered. And he was right. Today, every fertile nation like Nigeria import rice. Malawi relies on maize aid. Senegal buys onions from Holland. And the World Bank tells us this is market efficiency. Nope, it's economic suicide. To reclaim our dignity, we must reclaim our soil. That starts with land reform. Give land to those who work it, not foreign agro businesses, not local elites. Then invest. Agro-processing, irrigation, grain storage, pharma cooperatives. Ban GMO monopolies, protect seeds, promote native crops. Food is political. It determines whether our children grow or go hungry, whether farmers thrive or migrate, whether we feed our own workers or foreign traders. Let's build continental food corridors, share science across borders, train a new generation of agroecologists, and tell the IMF we won't starve to pay debts. Because the real revolution begins in the fields, and the future of Africa won't be decided in a boardroom. It will be decided in the soil.
These people who want Western Cape to become an independent state, they must know that it will not happen, because their right-wing coalition will not govern the Western Cape. Their right-wing coalition will not govern South Africa. We are going to govern South Africa, and Western Cape will not be an independent state. They must not try the government of the EFF, because we know what soldiers are used for. And when we are in charge of South Africa and anyone wants to take chances with the Western Cape, that person will meet the might of the state, because there's no one who's going to turn this province into a colony. This province is part of South Africa.
I hope you don't mind this orientation, but you know, always have to talk to people. And as I have been intentional of late to say that I'm speaking to black people, I have to also clarify who I consider as black people when I talk about black people. I am talking about black people, the conventional, what you would know as a black person, and every colored person, whether you are Khoi, whether you are Sam, or whether you are mixed, you are black in my view. And I also have to include, although not fully black, but they could be entered in there, which is Indian people of South Africa. You know, the population of Durban and other places here in Gauteng, Actonville, wherever you're watching this from. As a black person of South Africa or even in the diaspora, excuse my long intro, we are having a coup in this country. We are having a coup in this country. At the same time, we are having two forms of colonization happening to this country. And I have to beat myself up for this, at the same time apologizing for allowing myself to get distracted for so long, for things that I've been wanting to talk about, but I feel as though they might just be a little bit dangerous. But then again, I do not want to be a politician, so they should not be dangerous. The conversation, firstly, that I want us to have is the fact that we are having a coup in South Africa. And the coup that we are having in South Africa, a coup d'etat, is not the kinds of coup d'etats that you typically get to see in Africa. The kind of coup d'etats that happened in Burundi, now known as Burkina Faso. The kind of coup d'etats that you saw in Congo, Brazzaville, Zaire. We are not talking about those. Those were violent, where the president was attacked by a military or a paramilitary force, and the leader of that paramilitary force takes over the country as a president and becomes a dictator of that country. Or where you will see one country separating into two countries, like the Congo, like Sudan. In South Africa, the coup that we are having is more strategic than that. It's technological, man. You know, it's very strategic. And unfortunately, the leaders of that coup in politics of South Africa is actually the DA. And I know many people, those who will be watching this on YouTube, because I'm uploading on TikTok as well, those who will be watching this on YouTube, I know you will come with your justifications, I know you will come with your explanations or whatever. But the DA is leading a coup d'etat in South Africa. And the way that they are doing it is by using their allies. Many big political parties in South Africa have allies in the form of civic movements or in the form of other smaller political parties. So with the ANC, you have your SACP. With the DA, their allies would be your Solidarity, will be your AfriForum, and other political parties and civic movements that support them, as well as big business in this country. They are leading a coup, and the way that they are doing it is not by the gun, but by information, in their flow of information. AfriForum and maybe some people of Solidarity would go to the United States to lobby against the ANC and South African black leadership with Donald Trump, the American right-wing political party or people or in the Republican movement or Republican cabinet. And the results that they were hoping for were not fully what they thought is going to happen, because unfortunately they went to go speak to a volatile man who's unpredictable and frankly an idiot. And that idiot, because knows nothing about Africa. He understood that South Africa is in Africa, and therefore the majority of the wealth in Africa and the land and everything that has to do with means of production in an African country is probably owned by black people, by black government as well. And contrary to that, when he raised these tariffs against South Africa, when South Africa was removed from AGOA, Donald Trump, in his mind, probably thought that he is punishing black South Africans, that he is punishing black leadership, politicians, and businesses. And he had your Elon Musk whispering in his ear as well, whispering lies. And the people of AfroForum did not meet super serious people within the Republican movement, but they met people who did have enough ears within the Republican Party. And those people were able to eventually get some information to Donald Trump with the help of Elon Musk as well. And we have these tariffs. And now, only now, what AfroForum thought is going to happen is these discussions of American leadership sanctioning the ANC. This is what they probably wanted from the beginning. The sanctioning of the ANC, ergo the sanctioning of black leadership in South Africa, in South African politics. It did not work that way. And that's why they were negotiating with the ANC. That's why they came back to say, no, what the American government is asking of us is not what we spoke with them about. They did speak with them. They did speak with people, but it's the results that they are seeing are not the results that they wanted. Donald Trump would also say, because there is a genocide in South Africa of white people, he's inviting them as refugees to America. And as proof that there is none of that, 49, less than 100. I see some people like your, is it Colonel White? Colonel White, yeah. And maybe Renel Luchos as well could have spoken about the fact that there is more doors open for more white South Africans, particularly Afrikaners, in the United States. They did not want to move. Very few poor white Afrikaners moved, some not even Afrikaner. And many more poor Afrikaners decided that, no, we are staying here in this country because this country is where we prefer to be. So the coup attempt, and the escalation of the coup attempt, which probably started long ago, failed. And you would see the DA turning around to say that, no, there is no white genocide here, and then Steenhuisen all of a sudden receiving a lot of hate from so many white people in this country. Because the moment you speak truth, that does not go with the narrative of the right white. You are hated. And it doesn't surprise me at all many times when I see white people who are on the center or even on the left being absolutely hated by so many white people in this country. Because these people are proving that the majority of them are racist. The majority of them are against the superiority or the prosperity of black people. The DA is still leading a coup, by the way, and it's still strategic. It is still by information, and now it's becoming financial. In the Western Cape, the gentrification that they are leading, the gentrification that they are in the process of doing, squeezing out black people and colored people in the Western Cape. Very few black people will be able to afford to live in the Western Cape, especially closer to Cape Town and other places. But eventually, it gets to a point where if you're black and you're colored, you're in the city, you're trying to hustle, you don't have a job. Who are you? You need a passport to be here. Cape independence. Outside of a coup, colonization that is happening to South Africa. Remember in the beginning of the video, I said there are two groups that are colonizing South Africa. The first group is the West and the DA and all their allies who are so less and hungry for the return of apartheid 2.0 Real apartheid, not this reverse racism, reverse apartheid that they so claim that the ANC is doing. Which, by the way, I don't like the ANC. You already know that about me. But they're salivating at the idea of bringing back the good old days when South Africa was nice, apparently. And they're not going to do it by the gun, the way that it was done. They've learned their lesson. And through the lessons that they have learned, they are trying to find ways to recolonize South Africa. Eventually, all of what used to be Rhodesia. Eventually, SADC. And the reason I'm talking about this is because I need y'all to fucking wake up to the fact that everything else is a distraction. The fight in South Africa by these right-wing political formations, which I'm getting more and more angry at. The more I understand them, the more I get to understanding the mindset and what kind of information they spread. They are the other side of the coin of the far left. No matter how they pretend to be, no matter who they pretend to be. The fight in South Africa by the DA and all of their allies, including big business in this country, is about the land in this country. The land that they say, if it goes to the left, is racism. If it goes to the left, it goes into chaos. It becomes Zimbabwe. That, you know, this fight by such political parties and such movements, it should not be taken for granted. And everything else that you see being reported online, on mainstream media, everything else that you see happening in politics, everything that you see in entertainment is all just distractions. When you go to Groove this Friday or this Saturday, you drinking and trying to look like you are better than other kids because you can afford more alcohol while you are in more expensive clothing, and you're probably going back home in a more expensive car and with some guy with yellow thighs that you just met on that night who probably looks a bit nicer than many of the other girls on that day. All of that shit is distractions. And when many of you young boys and girls looking at that lifestyle and you aspire towards that lifestyle, all of that is distractions. The country is getting destroyed on two fronts. On the one side, the ANC is destroying it. And under the ANC is government officials. And in those government officials, there's really good people who really care about this country. But they can't do much because the leadership, the people who are higher up than them, are responsible for the destruction of this country. And while that is happening, the right and the far right are taking advantage of that. The fact that us young black people are no longer politicized. We are no longer activists. And they're trying, actually they're not trying, they are achieving in taking back the country. The DA opened Home Affairs for its racist voters outside of South Africa, so that it can increase their power. And I think they are figuring out that they don't have to deliver to black people. They've already had an experiment that they've been running for decades, which is the Western Cape, where everything that goes wrong in poor communities, they're going to blame it on anyone else, someone else. When crime happens, they blame it on someone else. Recently, some DA parliament members were attacked in Western Cape, I think in Cape Town. Arrests have all been made, including a young kid, a 16-year-old. That goes to show that they are able to fight crime in the Western Cape, as long as it involves white elite people. Not just every white people, by the way. Because even if you're white and you're not rich, they are going to remove you. They are busy trying to remove you. And if you're still watching, unfortunately, if you're still watching and you're white, and you're middle class or lower, living in Cape Town, how expensive are the utilities right now? How expensive are the rates? How expensive is water? How expensive is electricity? And how much more increases are you expecting on your property rates in the next few months and over the next few years? And do you think you'll be able to afford all those rates? If no, then what has to happen with you? Do you have to move out? Do you have to sell your property, move to a place that you can afford? Do you have to come to Gauteng? We don't know. But even you, as a white person, if you're still watching at this point, the Western Cape does not welcome the likes of you. They're welcoming Germany, they're welcoming Sudan, they're welcoming Greece, maybe not Greece, they're welcoming Israel, they're selling properties to Zionists, they're spending millions on properties that have nothing to do with the benefit of South Africans and most of the citizens or the people living in the Western Cape. Most of the people being black and colored people, being the Khoi, being the San, being the Cape Malay. That's a coup ran by the DA and its people. Its people being all of their allies and the funders. And then on the other side, the colonization that we are having here in South Africa, that we have to be very careful of. Again, also supported still by the DA. Unfortunately, is our African brothers and sisters. I love you all so much. I love a lot of you so much. Most of my friends are foreigners. I love them with my heart. I would take a bullet for many of them. But unfortunately, I have to also call a spade a spade. And before I call a spade, us, young South Africans, us, black South Africans, are allowing the destruction of this country to happen successfully. If not the destruction that is led by the ANC, the colonization and the coup d'etat that is led by the DA. Allegedly. Allegedly, okay? This is just alleged. Alleged. This is just, seems like. I'm not saying definitely. Seems like. Yeah. Allegedly to all the minutes in this video. Allegedly. Hey. We are allowing the destruction of the country. Destruction of the country while we are being distracted. And when the country is destroyed, or when we find ourselves in a place where we are led similar to how apartheid was running with less use of force, we will have no one but ourselves to blame. Because we are allowing it to happen. The same as our African brothers and sisters who have allowed their countries to get destroyed by their leaders. And now they are flocking and colonizing South Africa. Many of them do not want to go back home because it's nice here. Many of them already are like, fuck this guy. I'm out of this video. But the truth is the truth. This is a colonization. We have communities. We even have people who are lobbying for Nigerian communities within South Africa. Because we have allowed things like Orania to happen. We have allowed things like the lobbying and campaigning of Western Cape independence by a foreigner to happen in South Africa. And therefore, they are seeing that, well, South Africans are no longer as tough, as strong as they used to be. We can do as we please in their country. We have disrespected our police. We don't respect our military. And therefore, they also don't. Take it from me as a person who's been a victim of crime, a crime where I was even shot. I had a long time where I hated police. But then I know there's too many good police officers. Mkhwanazi is not the only good police officer in this country. Because if he was, he would not be protected. He's protected because there are so many good police officers in this country. And we have to respect those people. We have to support those people. Because they are our protection against anarchy that is coming from so many fronts. And everything that is happening is all about South African land. All of it is all about South African land. I've been willfully ignorant, intentionally ignoring these things. But this is what's happening. This is what's happening. Yeah. Now my question is, what do we do? It's just a question, I'm saying it seems like this is what's happening in this country. Apparently. Allegedly.
I'm sure 90% of you Gen Zs on TikTok don't even know what apartheid means. The term apartheid, which comes from South Africa,
Now, Israel is definitely not the democratic state, but it's also not a Jewish state. Israel is only Jewish in the same way that South Africa was white. It is not Jewish by religion. It is only Jewish by supremacy, by ethnicity. There are many myths that have to be dismantled. One of them is this notion that there are such two entities called Israel and Palestine living side by side in one way or another. But actually, Israel was built on top of Palestine and on account of the indigenous Palestinian people. That's how it was founded. So there is no Israel without Palestine. And the very existence of Israelis is on account of other people. Now, we're not saying that they don't have a right to live there, but no one has a right to live on account of other people. So what needs to happen in order for Israel to become a legitimate entity, it has to acknowledge the rights of the indigenous people, the ones that have been oppressed and subjugated ever since the creation of the State of Israel. The State of Israel was founded on the basis of ethnic cleansing and ethnic segregation. So its first laws were explicitly racist. There are 3 laws that explicitly use the term Jewish in order to give privileges to people of my ethnic background and deny the rights of the others. And there are many more laws. Today we have more than 50 of them that are implicitly racist, that depend on these formal laws. And there are many, many more practices that are racist. But by law, there is discrimination. And that legal type of discrimination against an ethnic or racial group is what falls under the legal definition of the crime of apartheid, as defined in the Rome Statute. So Israel neatly falls under the legal definition of the crime of apartheid, which is a very serious crime under international law. It's one of the few crimes that, along with genocide, that is regarded as a crime against humanity. So that is what we mean when we refer to Israel as an apartheid state. Now, adding to that, the Secret Security Service of Israel, the Shin Bet, stated in court that they are monitoring anyone who is acting against the Jewish character of the state, even if they do it legally. So basically, anyone who is promoting democracy, anyone who is promoting equality in Israel is being regarded as some sort of a security threat to the state. So what does that tell us about the state?